my poor, beautiful corns coming down at the worst possible time, right into the end of the month, and a little bit of $1,000 dumpy dump, which could very well destroy the prospects, or at least the high probability nature of calling, at least in my case, a likely macro low here for the month of July. But we shall see. There is still a long day left to go on spot. We got 7 hours, 19 minutes. And of course, on CME, we actually have only 4.5 hours left to go. So better get going, bulls. Better get fucking going here, because the clock is a ticking. And honestly, coming down like right at this time, usually not the best sign, but we'll go through the analysis overall. And I actually do have a new piece of information to be bringing up on today's video too. There is something, I suppose, hopium on the other side, but of course, pivots are pivots for a reason. Rules are rules for a reason. And hey, if I do see the levels that we've been speaking about for the past couple weeks now get destroyed, or more or less just not get confirmed over, then, well, I don't really have a high probability macro low here just yet. Anyways, I massively overslept my usual time this morning. So I'm feeling a little bit kind of, I don't know, a little bit absent-minded today, but we shall work through it. I think the caffeine is starting to work right now as well. So all good. I think I was really just catching up on a shit ton of sleep because my God, man, for the past few weeks, it just seemed like every other night I was having some issues there. Anyways, good morning to everyone out there in cryptocurrency land. Of course, we got Lomacella Azul, Trance, Durian, Rambutan. We even have some haters as well calling out clowns. Absolutely ridiculous. Again, I lay out my pivots very much in advance so that you can follow them. If you call that flippy floppy, fair enough, man. Rules are rules at the end of the day. But of course, it must go up or it must go down. Yes, indeed, man. The numbers have been the same the whole fucking month. It absolutely blows my mind that some people cannot come to this conclusion, but it is what it is. That's what we got in markets, man. So people can disagree. Dan Robertson says, I give up. I give up. Happy poor indeed, says Dolphin. Midnight Rave. G morning. I thought it said grooming, which was confusing to say nonetheless. Anyways, and John Dude saying my corn's as rich as Europe. Yes, which apparently not so good. I was looking at stats the other day. In fact, I heard a random stat that the UK is, I think it was like per capita poorer than any US state, even Mississippi. Even fucking Mississippi. Anyways, Bitcoin trying to rally off the lows a little bit here. But again, it all matters where things actually close for the end of the day. Smith Grind has retracted his message. Why would you do such things? And let's actually just start it off over here with the opener, of course. Bitcoin, again, that major line in the sand, the big one to hold if Bitcoin is going to potentially actually put in a macro low here. Need to see it close today above 63,750 minimum. That's only to validate one of the conditions that we laid out on yesterday's video. There are two other major ones which actually do require a little bit higher than that, but at least 63,750, I would say, or else. I mean, basically, that does open up the potential for a retest solos or maybe even lower as well. It definitely is possible there. But for right now, again, I'll let the tape tell us where things close at the end of the day, and we shall reconvene, I suppose, on Monday when we actually have that data. But you know, by the end of by about 1 p.m. today, or I guess that would be what, in about 3 hours. Yeah, about 3-4 hours now. We should have a pretty damn good idea, because that's about when traditional U.S. markets close. Anyways, today's headlines, of course, stock just books their best month for the whole damn year, and Bitcoin not joining alongside that. I mean, it is green on the month, to be fair. It is green on the month, absolutely, but not at the time that we need it most. And again, earlier this week, we saw it live. Of course, the FOMC holding those interest rates 9-3. 3 regional presidents dissented for a hike, which actually, they presented for a hike. Anyways, yields up 10 basis points as well, while the dollar drops 1.4%. You know, this really would be Bitcoin's time to shine here. I'm still holding my short $66,500 calls for Bitcoin here. In fact, I'll start off the stream exactly with that. I was hoping I would actually have, to cover this one, that would essentially imply that Bitcoin's going up. But for right now, still short these guys right here. It's actually not the put side. I will not take that trade based upon yesterday's closure. And the call side, again, as long as Bitcoin's below $6,500, that's money in my pocket by next week. But what I'm really most interested in, of course, is Bitcoin actually potentially confirming a macro low. That's when things get a lot more interesting. And while, of course, I don't hate making money here, at the same time, it would have been a lot more interesting if Bitcoin, was well above kind of where it was yesterday to help this overall case. Because that's a position that ultimately I really wanted to cover in the sense that I would buy those 20 coins, cover the space between about, not yesterday's, but this week's high at 60, what exactly was it? 65,700 and such. and then get long above there. I mean, that would have been really, really nice, but looks like things are going to go the other way, and I will not sell puts on the other side, at least as of right now. Well, just based off of yesterday's closure. So anyways, going into the new information of the day, or at least something I haven't presented for the day, a little bit of hopium here for the boo laws out there in the world. Still, there is, I suppose, a little bit of hopium. We can see for the past year, or since December of last year, there have been 8 of the bull moons, and of those 8 bull moons, 6 of them have actually produced some nice upside price action movement. When they do produce that nice upside price action movement, we have seen an average gain of about 12.5% almost. And of course, 2 of those failing flat on their face. So it's not, of course, not a given, although it is a slightly higher probability, obviously. And why am I calling this out? Because Bitcoin did put in the Boolah moon as of a couple days ago. In fact, I literally saw it in my backyard. It was at night. I was taking Rosie out to pee, and I look up at the sky, and it's actually just one massive bright lamp in the sky. It's actually like pretty, it's actually really pretty. But yeah, as far as price action goes, I don't know, maybe that helps the next couple week period. This one technically did begin back on Wednesday. So that gives us about a 14-day spread, as these do last 2 weeks almost, to, I guess, like the second week of August right there. Again, I really do want to be running off the monthly closures here. So ultimately, Bitcoin, I do need to see, again, above 63,750 by the end of today to really get a little bit more enthusiastic or optimistic. But, does that mean that Bitcoin can't still try a rally in the short term here? Yes, just wouldn't really help with the macro low case. Ultimately, the higher term timeframes remain the same here, and that's kind of that is what's kind of concerning. Again, the monthly time frame, we were looking at the monthly 55 EMA as being like the first major line of defense, or line of not necessarily defense, but line of hopium, if you will. That's the one that's pivoted now at actually on CME at 63,400. If we go back to the index, this one is going to still be about 63,700 or so. Of course, the next one was going to be the Reverend Ribbon's reclaim of this red line right here. That is perhaps actually the most potential optimism, and Bitcoin would certainly need to just close back above 63,000 bucks. And at that point, highly probable to rally into these gray dots, which right now is low 70s. But again, that remains to be seen. Bitcoin only needs to rally up about 200 bucks from where it's currently at right now by the end of this monthly closure in order to confirm that criteria. And then, of course, what was the last one? Oh dear Lord, it's escaping me. No, I remembered it exactly right now. It is the monthly stochastic oscillator. That one is the highest pivot at 64,350. That one's more or less unchanged. It could be a situation that where Bitcoin closes today, even if it is below, it could be that this pivot comes down even more aggressively coming into August, and to the point where it actually will force a cross perhaps in August, but not necessarily in July. It's a potential situation, but again, the further and further away that we get away from hopium, probably the better. So I'll still let the markets decide at the end of the day, and of course, we'll update when we reconvene next. Other than that, in the short term, going back on over here, we do have more bearish signals than not. Of course, daily time frame does have low volatility combined with some phantom drives of bearish divergence here on characteristics RSI. And on top of that, looking at the daily RSI, I mean, that is a head and shoulders pattern. You got a double left shoulder, double right shoulder. That certainly can happen. And, well, not great, obviously, for the short term. That would give a downside bias, obviously. Of course, a 3-day time frame still has not actually confirmed that hidden bearish divergence. That would actually be a potential, but still needs to close below the 62,685 low from the previous period, and that would very likely get price action back down to about 60,500 to 61.5. Nice little $1,000 pocket right there. That's where I'd say if we're still looking for hopium, that's probably where I'd be looking for on a bottom on this. And then, of course, just to update on the Reverend Ribbons for the daily time frame, this one did reclaim yesterday, to be fair, but today giving it up nearly instantly. A little bit of flippy floppy action right there. It is what it is. That's why rules are rules. And at the end of the day, if Bitcoin does close below on CME 64,640 now, which is that daily pivot, I do have to remain with a short-term, medium-term bearish buy, or I have to flip back to a short-term, medium-term bearish bias right here. Anyways, what am I doing? I am simply DCAing and, of course, like I said, trading options. In fact, let's do a little bit of a daily DCA right now. I'll go over here to Coinbase, and we can buy 100 derps of Bitcoins right now. Put it into the order books right there. And it's actually funny, the chat section is covering that up as of the current moment. So I'll put in maybe a limit order a little bit lower, and you can see that order coming in down here. Anyways, we'll do our $100 DCA, daily DCA here. Regardless, just to play it out, just see how Coinbase operates, and I'm still enjoying those 80% reductions in spot fees. Probably among the lowest now that you can actually buy spot Bitcoins, from like a traditional bank account. Anyways, let's see. Let's go quickly over here into traditional markets. Then we'll go over to the comment section of the super chats. It's very interesting to me. SPY futures, as we said yesterday, this is a higher low, and with that in mind, Bitcoin not following when it really, this would be absolutely an opportunity for it to follow. That is concerning, obviously. But for right now, SPY recovering at exactly the moment that you really, really want. Weekly time frame has yet another higher low on that yellow 21 EMA. I stick with what I've been saying for the past year. Higher lows are for buying here. Pullbacks are for buying. They're very likely to be higher lows. I really like what's going on right here. You're probably going to have some hidden bullish evidence again as the weekly RSI made a new low below the lows of June and even late May right there when it's trading here and here. It is overall good, especially on low volatility. This thing is setting up for an upside breakout in August. Again, monthly time frame, just a retest of that red 5 EMA. Again, this is why I call it my trending moving average, because as long as you're above there, I just look for bases around there in an overall uptrend movement. We have the same thing yet again. And then, of course, going over here to NASDAQ, this one also kind of recovering at the most opportune moment as well. Still above that previous price action pivot low at 28,200. Again, popping back up above there at the exact perfect time, to close out this weekly. Again, still 4 hours and 20 minutes left to go, but, so far so good. And I really like this as a reclaim on the daily time frame as well. Ultimately, though, it is certainly not NASDAQ or the tech sector that is getting the gravitational rotations right now, the rotational pull to the upside. But, they're still going to, likely at least tread sideways as long as the broad market remains obviously strong here, led by SPY. So that one, very, 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 very important. And ultimately, I see a lot of green on my board right here too. It just looks like stocks in general actually having a decent day to close out this month. Other than that, let's get over to some of the super chats right here, see what we got going on. And we have Mr. 1236N first. He's looking at SOXS, SOXX. Hard to say, actually. Looks very similar, eerily similar to that NASDAQ chart, but, makes sense, obviously. Anyways, this thing, looking at the monthly time frame, because that is the time frame that is closing today, it is likely to reclaim that red 5 EMA. So good sign in the short term. So 2 hour, 4 hour daily, as you did ask for. I do think short term, you do have a lower high. You probably do come back down in base around 485 to 490-ish region, but I'd be looking for a bounce there as well, probably into next week. I think that this thing kind of been beat up enough in the short term. And while, again, very, very short term, it probably is another downside move. I don't think it's going to make new lows on this move just yet. Probably August is going to be a month that does try a little bit of a bounce, a little bit of a corrective bounce, I would imagine, probably at least for like the first couple weeks. But in the very, very short term, as you did ask for, wouldn't be surprised to see this thing come back down, fill that gap around just somewhere between like low 480 to 490, something like that, and then try the bounce from there. That's probably a next week thing, to be fair. Anyways, let's see. Let's move on. We got Mr. Royal British Musketeer, MC. He's looking at BE, Bloom Energy. This is on a weekly and monthly, of course, as well. So higher term timeframes, similar chart here too, kind of in the same sector, I suppose, and a beautiful bounce off of that green 55 EMA. Again, I think that the next couple of weeks are going to be a bounce period for this thing. Higher term timeframes, I'm still pretty skeptical on this overall, putting in like a macro low here and continuing to the upside. But I do think you're going to open up August on a bounce. Don't be surprised at all to see the bounce get back up to like 250, maybe even 270. But if you start to see a rejection right around there, that's where it starts to get personally a little bit more defensive and skeptical on this thing. But for right now, higher term timeframes like the monthly, bearish divergence, you could definitely argue has already played out, and so far so good. So I'd be looking for the opening of August to be a bit of a bounce and then come back to it after that. In the very, very short term, maybe the same thing as the last, as that last chart, perhaps a very, very, very short term pullback to open up next week. And then the bounce emerges, but I don't think you're going to go lower I don't think you're going to make new lows in the short term. It's what I'm trying to fucking work towards too as a point. Anyways, we'll move on from there. We got Smith Grind. He retracted his message and then redid it. Fair enough. All right, we got dollar versus Canadian dollar. Dollar versus the real dollar versus the fake dollar. Let's see, what time frames? High time frame analysis. All right, I'm going to go very high then, monthly, quarterly, and 6 month. Dollar, as the numerator here, obviously bullish against it, hidden bullish divergence on that last higher low right there. I don't necessarily know if it's ready to trade back up towards that 145 to 150 high from 2025, but I do think that it is en route long term. Quarterly time frame also not giving me the exact signals that I really would like to see on this. So I don't know how proximal in time this is likely to happen, but I do think by end of year you are back around those previous highs in the mid to deep 140s essentially. Overall, the dollar is obviously very bullish against the Canadian dollar. It's just in the short term, does this one continue to play a range, comes back down for like a higher low at 138 and then tries to rally, or does it just rally from here? That's a question that I'm kind of mulling over in my mind, and I don't have an answer for you because I don't have a crystal ball. Crystal ball got broke, and if I had to call anything, I do think it probably pulls back a little bit more towards 138 to 139, tries for a higher low there, and then tries your move. But again, long term, the analysis is the same. Chinese are friend, it's going fucking up, man. it's going up very likely. I do think by end of year you are back around those previous highs, maybe even higher. It's very possible. Anyways, how the hell is my damn water bottle so tightly woven? Oh man, that was a struggle to get it open. Anyways, one moment. Football Music Academy says, if you were to ape in like a degenerate monkey and hold for 2 years, would you do meta? Okay. Sorry, that one just caught me off guard. I think the question is about Meta versus Tesla. Okay, let's just look at the charts versus the charts, because that ultimately tells you which one is the better long-term hold, which I think is kind of what you're getting at. I mean, 2 years is, in my opinion, considered a long-term hold. So this is with Meta as a numerator. So this chart going up favors Meta. Obviously, this chart going down favors Tesla. Obviously, Tesla has some the greater growth potential, and I think short term, which obviously is not what you're asking about, I actually do think that Meta will overtake Tesla. Long term, I certainly like Tesla over Meta, but can this ratio get back up towards its previous high at 340? Yeah, absolutely. It'd still be bearish overall, and that would be probably the best opportune time to get Tesla relative to Meta. But that would obviously imply maybe over the next 3 to 6 months, you do see a rally up there. But your time frame is 2 years, so perhaps that is well within your time frame. Anyways, I probably wouldn't do either, like right now at the current prices or at the prices that you outlined. I'd be looking at the ratio. I'd be looking at the ratio right here. And if this thing gets anywhere, especially between like 270 to the previous high of 340, yeah, I'd want to pick up Tesla in favor. I'd want to pick up Tesla over Meta. Like Tesla would be the better do overall is what I'm trying to say. Other than that, 6 month time frame, yeah, I do think Meta will beat Tesla over the next 6 months most likely. But longer term, probably Tesla better than Meta. So I'd be looking at the ratio, not necessarily specific prices for these two. If you're looking over like the next half year to a year, I think Meta is probably the one, man. Let me just quickly check out the Meta chart. Yeah, Meta around 480 is not a bad do in my opinion. I mean, shit, if I wanted to buy it, I'd buy it right there. And I do think that you will get down to like 480 to 490, basically kind of where you're looking at. Anywhere around there is fair game, and anywhere around there I think is probably a good long-term do. Tesla, I think, is less of a known as to how well it's going to perform long-term. But if you were looking for that 290 tick, you got it. I mean, well, shit, it got down to 297, so maybe you have another sweep there. Coming into next week, I would still like to see it down to like 280-ish region, like officially hit that 200-moving average. But both of those are, if you're looking to hold them for the long term, both of them are investable. We're talking about which one is better in comparison to the other one. That's why I'm looking at the ratio there. Anyways, Football Music is back. He says, can you teach me how to analyze USDT market cap or figure out market sentiment? No and no, because I don't think that either of these fucking matter, man. I don't know who the hell you're listening to on YouTube that's filling your ears with such nonsense. But the problem with these metrics is, one, USDT market cap, like why does it matter? I mean, if you're looking at anything for Tether, you're probably looking at the Tether dominance. That's going to put the market cap in relationship to the rest of the crypto market cap, which actually has been a pretty useful chart. And to be fair, this chart is bullish. And if you are bullish on the Tether dominance chart, then you naturally have to have a downside bias on, well, just general cryptos, I suppose. But that is the market in a whole. We have seen instances where this has gone up alongside Bitcoin going up as well. long term, I mean, this obviously is bullish. The real question is, do you get another corrective phase here as this thing does? Oh, it actually doesn't have bearish divergence on the monthly. So, yeah, if anything, on the weekly time frame, it's bullish. I mean, shit, you got a drive of hidden bullish divergence here on character RSI yet again. Phantom drive in an uptrend. I think that you're going to retest those highs before anything else. So, if you're asking like how to analyze it, this is the one I'd be looking at, and this is the one that generally when it's bullish, you want to be not bullish on crypto. Generally when it's bearish, you want to not be bearish on crypto. I'll put it that way. So yeah, anyways, yeah, market sentiment, again, there's all sorts of different things. I mean, shit, you can look at the fear and greed index. There's one on centralcommand.io right here. All these sentiment things, I honestly, like, they're important, but they're not that important. I think at extremes, they're certainly important. Right now, market is showing extreme fear, to be fair, according to Central Command. And again, by the way, all of these analytics and tools are free. There's a link description below for Central Command if you want some instruction on how to operate it. They also got AI trading agents there too. But yeah, this thing still at extreme fear, but you know, Bitcoin has come down. So it's not like there's a divergence right now or anything like that. You know, ultimately you're kind of getting what you would expect, right? Anyways, going back to the old charts right there and going back to the comments right here, I think we have T Sucky Soul next. It always sounds wrong when I say that. T suck my soul. Yeah, bearish divergence playing out. I believe we did say last time we looked at this thing down to the 21 EMA at about 5.5. What is that? 5.5 tenths of a cent. Yeah, something like that. Should be a bounce around there, to be fair, but I have my doubts that this bounce is going to be another higher low that leads to new highs in the rally. What I think is probably going to happen if I draw out the LARP lines is, you know, you retest that low, you get, oh, I basically already have it right here. Somewhere around this week's low, bounce up, put in a lower high, then you get the real markdown. You know, at the end of the day, it is a shitcoin, so I'm obviously going to be biased towards it just generally going down. Looking at the weekly time frame, that is almost undoubtedly a rejection. So I'm looking for this thing probably on any rally to fail. So if, you know, assuming it does rally up the next week or two, I think you probably get a rejection somewhere around here and then get your real markdown phase, man. I think the fun times are over here, man. It's game over, baby. But there's always a bull trap before the game truly is over. And that remains to be seen. You have not had that just yet, to be fair. Tona Quinn says, cold card hack, 600 Bitcoin stolen. Has CCJ bottomed? Is this cold card? Is this a stonk? Or is this? I think you have to be, I'm going to request that you be a little bit more, maybe it's this. I think it's probably this. I'm guessing it's the crypto. I don't know. Is this related to Cold Card? Yeah, I actually saw that as well, that they got hacked, which is kind of crazy because Cold Card was presented to me as always being like the most of the safest, you know, the most safe. Consensus opinion, always interesting, man. Anyways, as far as this chart goes, obviously I hate it, but there's really not that much data in it, so there's not enough to hate to like truly hate it. But if I did have to call it, I think that you probably just put in a high today for a while. Is this even related to what the hell you're asking? I have no clue, because CCJ was not bringing up a stonk and it was only bringing up this crypto. And like I said, there's a very limited amount of history here. I mean, literally just over a month now. So do I have any real opinion on this? I don't. Do I think it's bottomed? I would certainly not call it a bottom. No, if anything, I would be still bearish. There's not anything indicative here of being a bottom yet. Where would I call a bottom? It's too early on something like this. I would really be very conservative in calling a bottom here, meaning that I need to see it back above that previous swing breakdown, which is about 95, 96 bucks. So if anything, I think you're getting another lower high right there, man. You do have the conditions ripe and present for another drive of hidden bearish divergence here with the daily RSI making higher highs than the last few highs anyway. So yeah, bias is certainly on the downside right there. Chris Fellas looking at IBIT now. Oh, IBIT's actually pretty interesting to look at. I haven't done my usual daily perusal of IBIT just yet. So far, not so good. About to lose that red 5 EMA right there. And potentially going to put in a drive of phantom hidden bearish divergence there on character RSI. So not ideal as well. That would obviously happen if and only if it does close basically below about $36. But right now it's, you know, it's a good amount below 36 bucks. So far, I mean, today is favoring the bears. Absolutely. Very nice. Oh man, I desperately need that AGWA today. Steven Schickman says Zeta daily weekly. Let's see if this thing's finally coming down. Nope, still going sideways as fuck. I really don't have anything new to say here, man. I feel so bad every time you ask about this thing because I still think it's something like this. Overall bullish. I don't know about immediately. If you're on a daily, I guess there is a chance in the short term that this rally gets carried away, but still I would not call it a like bullish from here basically until it's back above at least this week's high, which is Wednesday's high at 22.98. Above there, I suppose you could be looking for another breakout attempt. Until that happens, I still think ultimately it's going to be good, but it's going to be something like this, probably has a downside move for another higher low, and then you get your try. So yeah, but overall, I think it's still going the same direction. I still think it's an upside resolution. At least that would certainly be my what's it called, my bias there. The Schwab says coin wrecked on earnings. What levels would you be eyeing for accumulation of some shares for a long-term hold? Well, if I was looking to buy the old dirt base, okay, so you do have kind of a descending triangle forming here. Not really, but it is just an overall downtrend. So typically you can kind of get an implied target from this. I'll do this really, really quickly here. Let's just pull out a nice extension. And look, if it really wants to break down below this week's lows, you do have an objective, like actual macro breakdown at that point. You'll be breaking the same lows that have been holding for, more recently for the past year, but even going back to, all the way over here from April of 2025, that would be a change of behavior. And if that happens, I'd really be looking for at least 110. Do I think it's buyable there? That's a question only you can answer. Honestly, man, I don't know if I'd want to buy it after that. I think you got bounces along the way at like 109, 110 below there. I could see this thing falling a lot, man. It could easily come down well below $100, like well below $100 and stay below $100 for a while too. So yeah, man. What I'm trying to say is that if it breaks like this whole year's lows, which is effectively what, 140 or 139 and 30 cents, something like that. You can buy it on the way down. I wouldn't have any hopium for it anytime soon. If that happens, you can kiss this fucking market goodbye for a long time, man. It would not look good to me. It would not look good to me. Yeah, I'd say at least like 109, 110, probably bounce there, but that does not mean it's going to reverse there. I would not be surprised to see this thing come down well below $100 at that point. Maybe like 80 to 85 region. It would take a long time, obviously, but shit, man. If you're looking to accumulate, I think you have setup here. It's seemingly not likely to work out because of the way that price action is acting right now. But hey, the setup in order to play it, would not require that much risk in order to play it out. Shit, weekly closure below about 139 and 35 cents, and yeah, I'd take that loss, but probably just unnecessarily donating money to the market at that point. This thing is downtrend on pretty much every time frame that matters right now, so not great. Anyways, let's see. What's up, Crypto Clown World? Good to see you, man. Been a while. And Josh Nepper as well. Sorry, felt like I was saying that one incorrectly. Great. Well, Hype's looking at Tesla on the weekly and monthly. Gotcha, man. Tesla, TSLA. Okay, let's go to the weekly first. Weekly inching its way towards that white 200-moving average. Still think that this downside move ultimately puts in a move like a wick a little bit closer to there. You are starting to hit the monthly 55 EMA, but even that was a little bit lower than this morning's low. So 293. I'd really be looking for somewhere in that pocket between about 280 to low 290. And then if this thing is going to be bullish, you absolutely do expect a higher low to form around there. Breaking below those numbers, especially below like 280, at that point, it really calls into question the long term for Tesla. And again, on the quarterly time frame, also coming in around 290 for that yellow 21 EMA. So a lot of things coming in between 280 to 290, I would say. Really would like to see that number hold. If it doesn't, I think the 6 month starts to play out and you start to see this thing move well past $300 to 220 to 230 most likely. That would be another major area of interest for a potential macro low, but that's like another 20% down from the areas that I'm quoting in the short term. So got to trade around that if it fails, obviously. Or at least in my opinion. Again, you can do what the fuck you want to do. Vince Have PH8 says TTWO. Okay, gotcha. TTWO right here. Let's see. Yeah, long-term, weekly time frame, I actually do like. I'm still not convinced it's ready to break out from here. I do think it's bullish overall though, but do not be surprised if this thing plays out the LARP lines down to like 220 and puts in a higher low there. It's like, that is about a 10% move down from where you're at right now, and then tries your upside move like back quarter of this year. Overall, it's good. Overall, I do think that you will resolve this one to the upside. Yeah. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If it just goes straight up from here, I mean, shit, that it's breaking out. If it simply just gets back above the July high, I mean, that is a very obvious breakout signal at that point. But yeah, my heart tells me it probably tries for a downside move first, gets a higher low, then tries your rally. Either way, though, I would certainly be having a bullish bias here. 6-month time frame. See, like very long term. Would have some issues if it does fail here, I suppose. Below 220, this one starts to look not so nice. And when I say not so nice, I mean I'd be expecting a significantly deeper pullback if that gets violated down to like 170-ish region, 175. Anyways, you're just looking at a daily. You don't give a fuck about what the hell I'm talking about on these higher term timeframes. Yeah, short term probably back down to like 234, maybe all the way down to 230-ish region, something like that, man. Drive of phantom bearish divergence here on Caretaker's RSI as well. So yeah, I'm looking for a range play, probably at least fill the gap, 233, something like that, man. Cool. Hoy Hoy says it got hacked. Yeah, man. Cold card, it does look like got hacked. So I don't know if you got cold card. I mean, shit. Warning, I suppose. It's kind of crazy. Like that one really was the consensus pick for like the best, most secure, most ultimate wallet, and ultimately, that was just not true, I guess. Anyways, Impala says LIT, lighter. Okay. Is Cold Card, I'm sure I could just look this up easily myself, but is Cold Card open source or not? Anyways, symbol LIT, lighter, or is this lighter? Hold on. This is not lighter. Which one? Okay, let's type in the exactly one that you are looking for here, sir. This thing? Oh god, LIT versus USD. It's some fucking random crypto shitcoin. It could be worse, to be fair. Well, long term still pretty bad, but it definitely does look better than most shitcoins, to be fair. So I won't flush it right here. Short term, I do think you got a little bit of downside price action, probably back down about $2 low. I don't know if that's concerning to you or not. You're asking if it's cooked on the daily or the 4 hour. I do think short term it has some downside, if that's what you're asking. I would not be bullish on this thing until it can reclaim the range high here, which is effectively this week's high at 240, something like that. Closing above there on a daily would look pretty good, but in the short term, I think you got some downside price action. Do I think that overall the rally is cooked? I mean, if the problem with shitcoins is that they can enter into like disastrous long-term downtrends at any moment. This one admittedly has not done this right here. It actually has been pretty constructive for the majority of the past, 3-4 months. So it definitely stands out amongst the rest. So I guess I'd give it the benefit of the doubt. I wouldn't necessarily call it over until you're closing below about 195 on a daily, but short term, I do think you got some downside and you probably do test around that region. I don't know, man. In my opinion, if you were holding this thing and you made a lot of money to the upside, I would certainly be taking a lot of profits right here. Yeah, I'll put it that way. All right, cool. Patrick Klin says, Amazon, should I take profit on calls expiration August 21st? I literally have no idea what you sold them for, what strike you did it at. I just know your expiration. It sounds like you're in profit, so that's good. I guess the question is, yeah, man, without even knowing your strike price, I mean, shit, no idea. Yeah, I'd probably take profit on them because I'd be bullish on Amazon, man. This is fucking good. This is a weekly bullish engulfing on hidden bullish divergence here. Again, another phantom drive on Caretaker's RSI. We actually do offer Caretaker's RSI now as its own individual little package in the link description below. But man, this thing has been fucking money, especially with these phantom calls right here. Yeah, kind of crazy, but again, it's the opposite of Bitcoin. You're getting a rally at the exact perfect time to close out this month. I don't think it's an engulfing from last month. No, it's not. It did not trade lower than June, but this is very, very good nonetheless. Assuming this thing remains above about 266 by end of day. It's trading at 310 right now. I think that's probably it's trading at 310. Wait, what? Where the fuck did I just get that from? Oh, derp. I just derped that pretty hard. I looked at Tesla's price. No, it's trading at 270. But it is looking pretty good right now, even though weekly will be a bullish engulfing. Shit, as long as it's above about 255 or so. So yeah, overall, man, I'd be bullish on this. Quarterly time frame has hidden bullish divergence here too. Another phantom drop on Caretaker's RSI. So I think that this one has a pretty good next few months ahead of it, man. So I'm guessing, oh, you're probably long calls. If you're long calls, I think you're on the right side of this, man. You got volatility rising and you're right on direction. This is why I hate being long premium. Still a difficult game to play. Ultimately, your calls are only ever going to be worth parity. But without, again, knowing what you paid for them and the strike price that you did it for, it's hard for me to really put myself in your shoes for that for that particular one. Let me see if maybe you did come back at it a little bit later. I'm just going to check the bottom of the chats here, see if Patrick has said anything regarding his position, and it does not look like so. So, yeah, man, I've no idea. I'd certainly take some profit at least. So, very, very nice move right there. But assuming your long calls, you do have a setup that you would want here, to be fair, but I'd probably be selling them next week because holding these things to maturity is usually not the right call. In fact, let's go check out prediction markets right now. You know what I've done recently is I've been checking out the Kalshi prediction markets for Bitcoin a lot recently, and also economics, because they do tend to be pretty fucking accurate. I've even started trading a small account here. Got $50. Let's see what the probabilities are for Bitcoin closure today. They're saying what above $63,000 has a 35% probability where you can buy that for 34 cents. I kind of like that trade, honestly. I kind of like that trade. Do I think it's going to trade at 62,832? I like that trade, and I'd probably sell it intraday. I actually might take that. Should I do it? Should I do it? Might do it. Above 62,500, I actually would not take that one. Payout's not good enough if that's actually going to go through. Let's see what else we have. Price range today. Oh, so you can do the price today. Oh my God. These are basically options in a way. Kind of weird. This one's giving 63 to 63.5, 27%. This one's giving 62.5 to 63, 45%. I'd probably take that. It's actually not, that's not a bad hedge against Bitcoin above 63. There's some money to be made. There's some money to be made here. Oh my God. Jesus, they don't even do it at the daily fucking closure. They do it at like just 2 p.m. Or that's also not the daily closure. That's 5 p.m. So that's 8 p.m. is the daily closure, I believe, Eastern time. You can bet on at the end of 2026. This is kind of crazy. I haven't checked out all of these. I've just been checking out some of these. We'll get back to the super chats in a moment here. I find this incredibly, incredibly interesting. So let's go back to today. And okay, they actually don't have a closure just for today. That's annoying. That could be a nice hedge, if we actually could do that. Let's see what economics look like as well. Fed decision in September. Wow. That's interesting. Market's favoring a hike. Very interesting, actually. You can bet on fucking gas prices. God, this shit is getting out of hand. This fucking betting culture is getting out of hand. How the fuck could you guess that? Jesus, man. Wow. Anyways, we'll get back over here. Mr. Loic Shelikin says, "Hey, Krown, nice you cut up on some sleep. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Just a nice positive message, and yeah, my brain appreciates it as well. But man, I really feel like my brain is on a slight lag today, so could be better right now." Nay Patriot says you can bet on weather temperature. Yeah, man, dude, I was for the past week I was betting on like small amounts on Kalshi, like so much that a fucking guy hit me up there. I guess he recognized my name or something. He asked me to do like a partnership with them. Basically, you could like sign up with the fucking link, and if you trade $50, you'd get like up to $500 free, right? Free. I don't know, man. I don't know if people should really be doing this, but I do think this actually is kind of preferable to being long options in a sense. If only I could have my options account on this, that would actually be pretty damn powerful. But still, as of right now, I need to keep two separate accounts. That would suck. That just does suck. But man, I'm tempted here. I'm very tempted on that one, I will say. Anyways, let's see. Tona Quinn says, has CCJ stock uranium bottomed to like yo bunghole? My bunghole actually has not bottomed yet. In fact, it's still drooping down, sir. So when you assume you make an ass out of me and you, this is not the ticker for uranium stock, sir. For fuck's sake. This is some random thing. So first off, get your damn... Before you comment on my bunghole, get your goddamn tickers correct. Let's go to uranium right here. I think that's probably what you're looking for. Do I think it's bottomed? I think you're going to have a rally to open up next month, but I don't think it's bottomed. No, this is breaking down. Like if it rallied back up to like 57 to 6,000-ish region, that would be a sell in my opinion. I think this thing's top for a while. I think you're coming down to 4,300, 4,400 at least. But you know, that might take another 6 months. Yeah, 6 month time frame looks like a top to me. So it's like I wouldn't be surprised to see it bounce opening up August, but I think that bounce is going to fail, man. You got many drops of bullish evidence here on the daily time frame, so that is there. So yeah, probably does open up August on a bounce, but I don't have high hopes for that bounce being a continuation move to new highs. Anyways, Mr. Loic Shelikins is back, says, I've been watching Verisight. Let me bring it up first, VCYT, for a buy opportunity, and now it just dropped 24%. Yeah, I got an alert on this earlier today, and yeah, now I know exactly why, because it's coming down to the daily 200 simple and the weekly 55 EMA. This is health technology, so I do kind of like it as a narrative play. And look, what am I going to put on risk here? Probably at the end of the stream, I will log into my my what's called my traditional market investing account and buy a little bit. I'd like to get it between, you know, kind of where it's at right now and that low of about $42. But yeah. Anyways, your question is what exactly? Yeah, dropped a lot, dropped about 25%. You're looking for a buy opportunity. Do you think that this could be a good moment to step in? Like I said, I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. I will buy between basically 45 and a little bit lower if it gets there, down to like 41. Yeah, I think that's good enough, at least for me, to put on a little bit of risk. Where would the risk management be? Unfortunately, it has to be way down, back around that previous low, which is another like what, fucking 15% down. So not ideal conditions, but personally, I will, you know, look, when I trade traditional market individualistic stocks, not ETFs, I do relatively small positions, so I don't mind putting in a little bit and trading around it if need be. But long term, I like this quarterly time frame. Came down to the 5 EMA there, so it might already have that low in. So I'll probably bid a little bit, you know, kind of around market after the stream, and maybe put in an order slightly lower if it gets there. But realistically, if this thing's going to be bullish, you kind of expect it to hold it right around here. When I say right around here, I mean the low of the day, so about low 40s. So yeah. Not guaranteed, but I do like the setup more or less. Anyways, the Schwab says PG, weekly and monthly. Gotcha, man. P and G. Procter & Gamble. Yeah, not a humongous fan of it here, man. Not a big fan of it. Not a big fan of this thing. It's kind of similar to Coinbase. It's like sitting on a fucking ledge that's been holding it up for the past year or almost year, going back to December of last year. Still hasn't actually broken down. The second that you close below about 138.5, you will confirm the breakdown. And at that point, I'm looking for this thing to come down significantly, play out the not monthly, but quarterly divergences here, which you do have 1, 2, 3 drives of bearish divergence. I mean, that's not great. I'd be looking probably close to 130 if that happens, maybe as far down as 120. And personally, I do think that it will get there. The question is, does it try another bounce here first? And, you know, seeing as this week's bounce attempt got rejected already, and it's in a bearish posture, this thing's a lot more likely to break down, man. No, I mean, long term, it is a great chart, but a great chart putting in a macro low again at the quarterly green 55 EMA, which it's done beautifully for the last, for the last 50 years almost, going back to 1981. That's always been the best area to buy this thing in for the long term. So I would try to be patient here personally. I get it close to like 120 to 130. Anyways, okay. Pro tip: don't roll your own encryption or RNG. It is open source. Gotcha. Okay. The evil gargoyle with swords says Zer Tron versus Bitcoins. All right, we'll do it versus the Bitcoins here. See if it's holding up or what it's doing, or is it even responding at all recently, because this thing realistically just kind of goes sideways. But objectively, it is bullish. Like, as much as I want to hate this thing, objectively, it is bullish. Daily, higher low, even has a drive of regular bullish divergence here, phantom drive that is, on low volatility. I think this thing's going back towards those 540 Satoshi highs. It's been an uptrend basically since, since going back to 2020. Gotta call a spade a spade. I'd have to be bullish on this, even though I really don't want to be. But yeah, nothing bearish about this as long as you're above last week's low of 491 Satoshis. So yeah, can we please see Costco? I love Costco. I'm going to go there probably on Monday. Really excited about it. Maybe even tomorrow, actually. I found a new thing to get from there. In fact, I should probably ask Elsa to bring me up some sweet potato fries. Oh, fuck yeah, man. Oh, fuck yeah. Knee Patriots, and knee Patriots, like New England Patriots. How fucking retarded am I? Going through your TA 101 for a second run. Looking forward to enrolling in the Trading Bible course in the near future. Nice one, man. Pay attention at the end of it too, because they will give you a pretty significant discount if you finish everything, and if you pass all the quizzes, you will be allowed to use that discount. And everything's gone through a full revamp as of the past week. I've been absolutely abusing Claude. I've been absolutely abusing Claude. I am running through my fucking credits like a madman, maxing out my credits within like 2 days of them resetting. Not great for my wallet, but shit needs to be done, man. Again, legacy projects need to get better. So I updated fully the TI 101 and the options 101. The Krown Trading Bible has undergone about 80% full renovation now. But still it's probably gonna take me another week to get the rest of it done, just because my fucking credits are are a catastrophe. Anyways, Chief Deadly says SNDK. Okay. 1 hour time frame, very low term time frame here. So let's check it out. All right. Nice bounce of the 200-day EMA. I don't have it on my chart. Oh, 200 days. So you're coming off of this. Actually don't even have a 200 EMA on my chart. I have a 200 simple, but doesn't mean that it's not valuable. It certainly can be. Short term, probably get another run at like 1300, but similar to a lot of the other charts, I do think that this probably retests around 1100, and then you try your rally to open up August. So very, very short term, like hourly time frame that you're looking at. I think you extend that rally a little bit more. Then I think you come back down, fill that gap or somewhere around it, and then you get your rally to open up August. Still, I do think that this thing is topped for this cycle and for a long time, but August rallying up to even like 1500 would not be a surprise at all. I personally would think it would be a sell, but yeah. Anyways, moving on from there, we got Lorenzo, SMH for a long-term 6 to 10 year hold. Okay, we're gonna go very, 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 very high term time frame for this, like six month time frame. Do I like it here for that? No. I'll tell you why. 6 month time frame. Oh, actually, it doesn't have bearish divergence. That's interesting. What about a quarterly? Quarterly also does not have it as well. It's been so crazy strong here. I guess these have not been initiated. I would like it a lot more in the short term. Like for a very, very long-term hold, I don't think that you have to get too cute with like finding the next major macro low. From what I've found from the studies that we've done, also working with Pesto as well for long-term investment sort of tools and whatnot, a weekly DCA, if you're going to be holding for the long term, is extremely hard to beat. Now, the key here to really maximize it out is not to fucking have a super high weekly DCA. It should be a small amount relatively. I'm talking about like a fraction of what you're looking to get in. When you get the big corrective moves, that's when you can go a little bit deeper deeper in. I mean, you can put more risk on at those moments. For this thing, to be fair, you have had one of those moments down to about $500 right there on this month's lows. That is investable, even though I do think it will trade lower. I actually would have bought that if I was in your position with those preferences. Do I think it goes lower? Yeah, I think that there's a good shot that it will come down to about 430, 440-ish region. That's where I'd also put in a little bit more, let's say. But look, if you're going to be holding for 5 to 6 years, I think that, a weekly DCA, very, very difficult to beat. It should just be a very, very, very small amount. And don't get carried away with that. It's more or less just, getting more reps in. And then when you get those big corrective moves, you go in a lot deeper. That seems to return the best for generally bullish long-term assets, which this absolutely is. I mean, shit is vertical since '08, right? Like long-term, getting those long-term buys, especially at that yellow 21 EMA, that's where the big buys should be going in. And if, by some active odd, you get down to the green 55 EMA on the quarterly time frame, yeah, even better, obviously. Anyways, I'll take another sip of this. Where's good value? I mean, like I said, even buying right here, even though I do think it probably goes lower, is the right call to do, in my opinion. But don't think of it as like going all in at all once. That's not the way to do these sort of things with long-term investments. Anyways, Tonaquin says CCJ Cameco stock has. Okay, you've asked like a million different CCJs. This thing, Cameco. All right, has it bottomed? Yeah, we did look at this one at the beginning of this. No, we looked at the crypto, right? Okay. Honestly, doesn't look at really any better than the crypto. Do I think it's bottomed yet? No, there is no objective information that it's bottomed just yet. The only way that I call it bottom right here is if you rally back up without going any lower and you rally back up above 63.35 and close a daily above there. And then I call a daily bottom, and you probably have a nice swing to the upside. But would I call a low here? Absolutely not. No, not with the current information. And if I had to call it, I think you're probably going to make new lows. But don't be surprised if it rallies up to like 6,200 in the short term and then turns around from there or somewhere around there. Yeah, something like that, man. All right, cool. The Schwab says, I really appreciate your streams. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's awesome. The community makes it, man. It really makes it. Been a follower since 2019. That's fucking awesome, man. That is the best. Like, really, I know I always say that, but that really is the best messages that I can receive. It's like people who have been here for years and years and years. I love that, man. I fucking love that. You have a good weekend as well, sir. I appreciate the nice positive message and all the best, man. Sincerely. Fucking buy the dip. It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time. Hope all is well, man. BAS on the 4-round daily. Okay. What is this? Which exchange are you looking at here? Are you looking at some random crypto shit? Oh God, you're looking at some random crypto shit coin, aren't you? Aren't you? You done did it now, didn't you? Is it this? I'm at the bottom of the comments right now, fucking buy the dip. So you let me know. You let me know. I'll wait for you to validate this or not. But assuming you're looking at this, excuse me. Assuming you're looking at this, I really don't want to have an opinion on this thing, for God's sakes. To be fair, look, if this was a stock, I would probably call it reversal. Because it's a crypto, I'm naturally going to be skeptical about it, as you know. But in the short term, if I'm being as objective as possible, it is more likely to rally back up towards 4.5 cents, which is actually a gigantic move from its current 2.79 cent stature. So there is that. Anyways, I'm going to wait for you to verify if this is the actual right one that you're looking for. Crypto Clown World says, watch the seed fries and those Costco sweet potato fries. Actually, I do not eat those ones. I do the ones that come in fucking packages. There is literally only one ingredient. It's sweet potatoes, but I think it was giving me the farts last night, man. I think that's also why I was probably up a little bit later than what I should have been. Anyways, while we wait for fucking buy the dip to confirm or deny the previous question, let's go over to here to Bitcoin and see what Bitcoin's doing. It looks like it's trying to rally back above 63. Can she do it? Hopefully she can. I think this rally probably does carry on a little bit more, but really don't like seeing a dump right at the end of the month. Still, I'll wait till the end of the day before making any calls here, but usually not a good sign when you do dump like right on the last day of the month. Confirmed, yes, says Daryl P. I do not see that from fucking buy the dip, but yeah, if I had to call it short term, I do think it does go back up. You do have a pretty easy setup here, to be fair, which is effectively using this week's low as an invalidation point. That seems to be what is coalescing and being grabbed on by that yellow 21 EMA. So the trend is quite literally potentially reversing right there. As long as you hold above this week's low, you're supposed to play it bullish. I'll put it that way. I think his message is getting hidden because his name, make sure you're on live chat. Possibly. Oh, okay. So you see his message going on in a different place. That's very strange. It might be that YouTube is auto moderating like some of the words too, because we've had to ban so many fucking words on this channel because of all the bots that come in. So like when someone, maybe has like a random ticker, maybe it gets like misconstrued with that, or in some way it's like included in that. You know what I mean? But yeah, as far as this thing goes, look, if I had to call it, I think you're probably going to bounce back up. Short term over the next week or two, maybe back to like 3.5 cents. And assuming that it just holds this week's low, I should be looking for that 4.5 to 5 cent high to get tested. To be fair, I said, I'm always super skeptical on these shit coins, and God, man, I do think you have a short-term upside move. I think it's going to fail, though. I think it's going to fail, and I think it gets marked down from there. Just sorry, I have to say it, though. I have to say it. It's going to bug me if I don't, man. My conscience will not let me sleep. Short-term rally, I think it fails after that, though, man. I do. Anyways, let's see. Roger Rules says gold and silver. How about just one? Because they both are basically the same, and we do one super chat per one chart, and you know it's just fair to everyone, obviously. But gold over here, I still think gold. Oh God, I really want to see it try a rally first before breaking down. As of right now, it's starting to hit again at another breakdown first rather than a rally first. You do have potential for hidden bearish evidence here? Actually, no, you won't. No, you won't. But still, I mean, this is objectively bearish. Look, long term, it's going fucking down. Okay, long term, you fast forward to the end of this year. I feel extremely strongly that it's going to be in the mid threes or at some point get there. Do we get a rally before then? I'd love to see a rally up to 43, maybe even 4,400. That's honestly where this thing gets a lot more obvious to me. Short term, if you're just on a daily, technically, this is still a downtrend. It's still a descending triangle, and you're more likely to test down around the lows at 39.75 in the short term. I think it's kind of ripe for a short corrected move in August, something like this, where it initially tests into there and then quickly rallies back off and then gets your rally and then comes down. That would make a lot more sense to me. But if it just goes down from here, I mean, shit, the trend is your friend and shouldn't be that surprising, I suppose. Long term, the direction is the same. Down. I feel extremely, extremely strongly about that. This thing has all of the classic signals of a macro high here. I think if we fast forward a year from now, you're going to see it in the low 3,000s. Something like that, man. Anyways, let's see. We have Tonaquin next. Is Kratos going back to $30, holding long term? Let's check it out over here. This one, I was a big holder of this a while ago. Not so much anymore. Let's see. Is it going to go back to $30? I could see it going down to $40 and trying to bounce there. You're about to get that corrective setup between the red 5 EMA and the yellow 21 EMA on the monthly time frame. So that probably gets validated in August. I would imagine on open in August, you're probably going to see that happen. So August is a good month for that move to occur. Do I think it goes quite literally to $30? Probably not in August. I think you're going to bounce there first, man. Wouldn't be surprised to see like a big bounce there as well. You know, maybe a bounce like this. And then you come down. But yeah, long term, do I think it's done? And do I think it's going to come down to 30-ish region? Yeah, probably. Really don't like what the higher term timeframes are doing here. 6-month timeframe getting, rejected at perhaps the worst area for the long-term trend. So yeah, I would not be surprised to see this thing with like a mid 30 handle. If we fast forward into end of the year here. Something like that, man. And by the way, I do not hold this thing any longer. But I think I was pretty vocal about that, a couple months ago when I sold it, or about three months ago now that I sold it. I didn't sell it on the highs, by the way. I did not catch the highs. I got it at 115, 100, and the rest of it down around 60. What's up, Josh? All right, who else do we have? Cheesy Poofs. Cheesy Poofs says, long time no see. Yeah, man, it's been too long, sir. Could you do bank? Okay, a lot of shitcoin requests today. Interesting. And a lot of new shitcoins, too. I have to say, like, most of these I do not recognize. Okay, completely new. Bank. What the fuck do you think is going to happen on this thing, man? Maybe it's this thing, because there seems to be multiple bank coins. All right, I'll bite on this thing. Okay, these are two very different charts, to be fair. Okay, also concerning right here. Look, man, first off, which one is it? Which fucking one of these shitcoins is it? Is what I need to know. Second off, both of them, I think this one's blown off its top. That much is obvious. And whatever the hell this thing is, it just has blown up. Very bad, man. I'm guessing it's probably not this thing, because I don't even see yeah, there's no trading going on here since April of last year. So I think that probably answers my own question. I'm guessing it is this guy. Give it the old flush treatment. It needs much more than that, man. It needs much more than that. That's called an illegal pattern. That's right. Illegal pattern. You'll be fined for even talking about this thing. You're going to come down to the daily trend and simple here. On any other asset that's like legitimate, I would say look for a bounce there. Maybe get a bounce there here too. It's possible, I suppose. But do I think that you're going to bounce there into a higher low and you test back around those highs and continue the rally? No, I think this is your classic parabolic blow off top on a shitcoin that is probably going to go down and to the right forever and onwards. So if it did bounce up to like 8.5, 10 cents, I think that would be a gift from God. I'm not saying it's going to, but if that happened, that would be really, really nice. Because that's probably gonna be your last, real attempt to get out of this thing. Yeah, man. Not great. Anyways. It's called an illegal pattern. Sonic. Is Sonic on? What are you talking about, Sonic? Let's see. Tony Quinn's back. He's looking at KLAC, KLAC. Another new one, or at least I don't recognize it. A split has occurred. Okay. Let's adjust those drawings. Or have I looked at this in the past? Oh, a long time ago. Looks like whatever I was looking for, it definitely did not happen. So that's great. Let's see. Let's go to a monthly. And this is, in my opinion, a top for a long time, sir. I do think, like most things that probably have topped, August probably tries a rally to begin. But if this thing rallied up to like $200 again, I would be very defensive around that region. And by defensive, I mean I would not trust it. Shit, if it got up to even like 230, 240, it still would be very questionable in my opinion. Yeah, looking at it, anywhere between 220 to 230, I think is fair game on a bounce in August, but I would be not optimistic about that bounce doing anything more, really. I think this thing's top for a while. Then again, I'm looking for the classic divergence signals here. You do have it on the 6-month time frame. You could also argue that the current pullback's already played that out. Realistic if it takes out this month's low, I think it is. Yeah, this month's low. I think you got a long ways down to 137. And yeah, admittedly, you don't even have bearish divergence on a monthly time frame, but I still think it's going down, man. I still think it's going down here. But hey, until you take out this month's low, there's a little bit of hopium. I do think August is going to open up on a bounce, but assuming that bounce fails, kind of at the area that I was looking at, 220 to 230, I'm looking at next move down to 140, 150-ish region, something like that, man. Cool. All right. Libro Soft says, I want to see gold rally and not break down. To be honest, I want to see Bitcoin go to 100 million and never break down, to be honest as well. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how reasonable our wants are, but we shall still want, sir. We shall still want indeed. Okay, cool. Tony Quinn says, I always listen at work. First time watching live. Fuck yeah, man. Yeah, that's what I figured. I haven't seen you here in the live streams before, but nice to always have new people in, or not necessarily new people, but people who are not regulars to the live streams. I love it too, man. Always love it, man. Always fucking love it. All right, let's see. Northern Kingdom 99 says ENTG with the monthly close, please. Yeah, this one's not looking good. I think I will be taking a nice little loss here. Monthly closure, I really want to see above 137 right now, or realistically it would be like 142, I imagine, if it were to get up around there. Weekly time frame actually might hold above the pivot, though, which is kind of crazy. So what does that mean? Probably tries a bounce in August, but I would personally probably want to be a seller on that bounce. I could still see a lot of people making, not necessarily excuses for this, but making a case for it if it does remain above that what exactly is this 122 low. It's above there right now, coming into the end of this week. If it finishes above there, I do think that you will open up August on a bounce. The monthly's kind of wrecked at that point, in my opinion. I think that you probably get to bounce up to like 140, but I wouldn't be as optimistic for it. Rules are rules. Like I said, at the end of the day, I'll be happy to take the loss here if I need to take the loss. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now on this thing, because I do hold this one. Let's see what the 6-month looks like. Yeah. I can definitely understand how some people would still make an argument for it. I stick to my rules. So, if the weekly holds, I don't care because the monthly is broken. And look, I took this trade based off the monthly. So yeah, it is what it is, sir. It is what it is. But I mean, look, I guess it's not impossible for this thing to rally up before end of month, but hey, I would say it's quite unlikely right now, at least from my view. Let's see what the yearly looks like at this moment. Long term, probably still does break out, to be fair. I don't think that that's really changed here. I think you probably just get another correction. But yeah, long term probably still does have some upside here coming into the next, I would say 6 to 18 months of price action. I mean, I'm looking at a fucking yearly chart right there, but yeah, that obviously takes a long time and perhaps some better entries could be had there. Anyways, football, Jesus Christ, man, there is a ton of super chats coming in today. That's all good though. I don't have a time constraint, so no problem. Feel like I'm finally starting to wake up, which is also good as well. So, oh, I should ask Elsa to bring me some shit. Then we can make the stream even longer. Let me just check my phone really quickly here. Okay. All right. Ooh, what's this? Someone's trying to sell their house? What's going on here? It's pretty crazy. Let's look at those prediction markets again. Let's check them out. Let's check them out. All right. So, very interesting. Very interesting. Look at how those probabilities changed so quickly. That honestly, you know, I usually say, oh, holy shit, this house is nice. That's a nice looking house. That's a real nice looking house. I have to say, I hate buying options. I love selling options. But I hate buying options. This might sound completely foobar to some people out there, and I totally understand that, but I believe I can explain this away. I would certainly rather buy these fucking contracts than buy options, especially as a hedging mechanism. This actually makes more sense and the payouts are better, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, God, that was fucking money right there. Holy moly. Holy moly. Wow. Let's see. Yeah, I actually do own some of these $63,000 strike ones. I should probably just sell them right now. Sell them. Sell them. Sell them. Yeah, crazy. Crazy, crazy. Wow. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad indeed. All right. Do I have 190? I have 190. Yeah, I'm going to sell that. That's a 2x move. Trade $100. All right. Boom. Thank you. All right. Appreciate it. Did I make the bet or not? Well, there it is. So I guess I lock in a $50 there. Yeah. Nice. I will take it. I'll take it. We're rich. You can't really do six-figure trades on this. Yeah. Well, let's actually see. What is the limit here? What is the limit? I guess I can just like type in something. Okay, 1,000. Oh, you'll get slippage. Yeah. So if I do 100,000. Wow. Let's try this one. What is the slippage for these? Does it tell you like an approximate? Hey, just show me the damn thing. Oh, it doesn't tell you the approximate. You can't even, can you see the market? Yes, you can see the market. Oh yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, that's not happening. There is, holy shit, there is very little liquidity here. You can see there's like $300 at the money. So very, 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 very small amounts. On the bid side, there's tens of thousands. So I guess you're playing with like, you know, between 1,000 to 10,000, that could definitely work. But anything above there, like hedging real positions, yeah. Unfortunately, no. That sucks. That sucks. That could have been a massive tool. That could have been a massive tool. Options win still. I mean, I still hate buying options. I'll put it that way. Anyway, sorry. I got way off topic there. My apologies, guys. Football Music Academy says, buy a bit of Apple now. Again, I'm not here to tell you what to do, man. That's financial advice, and that's fucking illegal. So would I buy a little bit right here? It depends what I'm trying to do, man. But looks like 280 is possible. I think that you're going to come down to about 300 even, or 295 to be exact. Overall, it is bullish, man. If I wanted a long-term position, I'd be buying between 280 to 290. What was it, 295 or something like that? Yeah, about 295 to 280-ish region. I'd probably be a buyer. again, if I wanted to hold a long-term position, you got some bearish evidence on Kerrigan's RSI for the weekly time frame here. So yeah, I do think that you will at least hit 295. Think you might get a wick down next week to 280, but I'd be looking for bounce around there, assuming this thing's going to still be good long-term, which I think it probably is. Absolutely crazy, astronomical chart, but ugh, it's going to be scary if and when it comes down. At any rate, short-term bearish divergence, then you got a little more downside. Probably tries for a low in August, like between the first and second week. 2 years hold. Yeah, like I said, I think there's going to be better things, but I don't think it's going to be a loser in comparison. Anyways, let's see. We got Mr. D next. Says, good day, sir. What's up, man? Long NBIS. Okay. NBIS at 184. Whoops. I was typing in long rather than NBIS. Derp. Anyways, 184 retest, exit at 245 is what you're asking. So I'm guessing you've already taken that position. So you longed at 184. So you're in the money a little bit right now, which is good, obviously. And do I think that you're going to get up to 245? That would effectively be calling for an actual reversal here. And if you were going to get above 245, or really more importantly, 230, which is that last lower swing high, I would be targeting up to like 250 to 260. I mean, I'm kind of like splitting hairs here, to be fair. I mean, that's still very close to your target, to be frank. But at the same time, look, if I was in that position, if you're like literally asking me, I'd probably be taking some profits at that $200 move right there, simply because, you know, you do still hold their downturn right here. So technically it is bearish on the daily. Now, I do think you will try a bounce in early August as well. And if you just take out this past week's high, I believe it is, sorry, not this past week's high, but the previous week's high, I think you're going back up to like 250, 260, and that's probably where I'd want to distribute a bit. Yeah, long term, do I think that the top's in? Probably yes. But short term, I think you could easily have an extension of that rally. I would not be surprised at all to see it reclaim that previous high. Because again, when these things top, there's almost always, like more than 90% of the time, there is a bull trap, like a legitimate bull trap, a bull trap that's actually supposed to, you know, make you bullish. And what's supposed to make you bullish? Reclaiming this high right here. So something like this would make a lot of sense to me. And if I had to call it, I think that you probably do actually do something like that in August. But I think it's an opportunity to sell personally. DJ Z says, NBIS daily and weekly as a top long term. Okay. Oh, we're still on NBIS right here. Do I think it's top long term? Long term, I mean, long term to me means monthly and above, man. So yeah, I do think it's top long term. I don't think it's going to be getting back above that $300 high anytime soon. If you're talking about the daily and the weekly, which is not long term to me, do I think it's topped right here? Not for forever. I think that it probably does try an upside move in August. Just I don't think it's getting above this previous high. So I don't know if obviously our definitions are a little bit different here. So that's why I'm kind of explaining in detail what I mean by that. So hopefully that was kind of what you're looking for. One Dawn Night, CROX. Okay, is this LaCroix? No, it's Crocs. I hear they're amazing actually, but Elsa usually doesn't have a single opinion on what I do say or wear. Like she's just like, Krown is Krown. He does what he does. I'm not trying to change him, but fucking if I bring up buying Crocs and wearing Crocs, she has like a mental breakdown. It's pretty funny actually. Anyways, Crocs here. Long term, I actually like this. This is actually pretty good. Short term, I'm not necessarily certain that it's ready right now to try a real upside move, but this is great long term, man. Multiple drives of hidden bullish evidence here on the quarterly time frame. So I do think by end of year, you're probably back around those 160 highs. Weekly time frame though, is it ready from exactly right here? I don't know. You know, I do like that stab down to the yellow 21 EMA on the weekly time frame right there. So that is nice for sure. Short term, I think that you got to rally back up to fill the gap around 130. But do I think it's just going to carry on with a rally exactly from here? No, I think it's a range play, man. I think your range, you just found the range high. You're probably going to come down and find at least the middle of the range, which is like 107. You got damn close there on this week's low. So maybe I'm being too fucking dogmatic. And then range low here if it breaks, but stops along the way, obviously right around here, to be fair. So something like that, man. Overall, long term, I think is really good, actually. Like I would not be surprised to see this thing be making new highs. I don't know about this year, but perhaps next year in 2027. Bitcoin's bouncing back is what I see in the chats. Let's check it out. Ooh, back above 63. Oh man, I could have made a fortune if I just held those. Let's see now. Let's see what the prediction markets are looking like right now. Above 2 p.m. Eastern time. 63.2 or higher. I probably would not take that here. But I do like this kind of. I do like this range, 63 to 63.5. But that's no longer an appealing trade. Wow. Oh, this is a good one. Oh, this actually is quite hard right here. This is effectively selling a strangle. You get to bet on the ranges. That is selling a strangle. Kind of cool. I would not take these trades though. The payouts are really good, but I would not take those trades. Like, you can't pick your strikes, which is not ideal. Not ideal. Anyways, Mr. D says, good day, sir. Long iron at 35.60. Okay. Let me bring it up. This one's popped up many a time on this channel. And you are long and you are in profit from 35.60. Nice. I believe we spoke about this last. We looked at it for you on Wednesday or Monday. And you're looking to exit at $47. Yeah, like most things, I think you're going to open up August with a rally here. And I do think that this thing is also among the names that are likely to rally. You're going to have some hidden bullish evidence possible and very likely validated by end of day here. Monthly timeframes coming off the 21 EMA, weekly timeframes coming off of the 55, and the biweekly also the 55 here too. So I do think that you rally up, maybe not exactly to that target, but into the mid 40s, I think is a good bet. And again, it's just an easy setup, man. This week's low is absolutely the invalidation point. As long as you're above 28.93, I think you do have a nice trade setup right there. Short term, I think that you do probably come back down and retest maybe around your entry early next week, but I don't think it's going to break lower. Personally, I think you're going to bounce from there. I think it's going to be scary for a moment and then probably bounce. Anyways, let's see. We got user ER7RU. He says, Bitcoin 2-week, Jewel and Stokes. Let me bring up Bitcoins right here. And you're looking at the biweekly time frame specifically. And you are looking at, let me actually go to the stochastic oscillator right here, which is, yes, right here. Okay, cool. Still angled to the downside, actually. And the current pivot is $68,000. That will update, obviously, today on CME. You didn't specifically ask about this one, but you probably care, I imagine, because you'll actually know what the next pivot is by end of day here. But for right now, yeah, still spilling over. I do want to call out that there is a nice trendline regression from these lows going back to June of 2022. June of 2022, connected with the low of October of 2022, connected with the low of March of 2026. All of these were pretty big bounces. None of them have been macro lows, by the way, but they all have been pretty nice bounces, and it will be hitting that on the next projected open, which is going to be after today's close. So yeah, there's that. You wanted to look at the Jewel as well. Let me bring up the Jewel. I have my own specific chart exactly for this one. Well, I guess we could do it like this. Okay, cool. Let's see. Okay, so you're looking at the biweekly for Bitcoins. What is the Jewel doing here? Given a downside bias right now. It is given a downside bias objectively, to be fair. And I do want to call out the biweekly Jewel has not gotten down to the same area that the previous lows have been formed in. So perhaps that deserves a little bit of acknowledgement. Although, actually, now that I recognize it, the actual lows on these, it has gone down to that level. Hasn't gone down to the same Jewel level, but it has gotten down to the same level that the Jewel was at on previous macro lows, if that makes sense. Just the Jewel's gotten lower. Same thing on the monthly here too. Did this one get down to those previous lows? Yeah. November low was right here, so that'll be hit next month. January of 2019 low right here, so that'll be hit next month, and also April of 2015 low, which will also be hit, which is getting hit this month, it looks like. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, interesting one to bring up right now. Cool. All right, Pablo South says Lucid stock daily, weekly. Okay, bring it up right here. I need to get rid of some of these charts. My damn browser getting too fucking girthy right now. Let's see, Lucid daily and weekly. Overall hate it. Just absolutely despise a chart like this. Their cars look cool. I will say their cars actually look really, really cool. Yeah, a little bit of hidden bearish divergence will develop between that high of June and the high right here. Sorry, will not be hidden bearish divergence. There's new highs on price. So no, that is not available. Overall, I really do not like it though. Do I think you could have a corrected move, maybe back up to like, God, $9? I don't know, man. It's a down only shitcoin chart, man. I really don't like these ones. I wouldn't be surprised to see it have a move towards $9 to $10, but that'd probably be the next like lower high if it gets there. Yeah, if it got to $10, I think that's a gift from God, and I do think it is possible. You know, this week's low is a good invalidation point, so I guess there is a setup. I just don't like it because of the long-term history. All rallies fail. Can you get a popcorn rally up to the green 55 EMA? Certainly, yes, but guessing when that's going to be is in my opinion, a fool's errand. Very, very difficult to do. Very difficult to do. Anyways, Tony Quinn is back. He says, praying for a rant on history, culture, and politics. I don't have any rants right now because my brain's like half alive at the moment. I think it's starting to get to like 75% right now, but still not quite there. Let's see. I'm just checking out what the fuck is going on here? Oh, nice. Okay, cool. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, lovely. Sorry, just checking my emails in the background. I'm checking out all of the solicitation emails. They are never ending, man. They are never fucking ending. It's actually insane. It's actually insane. Anyways, let's see. Did I miss any? No, I've not missed any. No, I have missed a super chat. Crocs are ugly. How did you and Elsa meet? We met on Tinder, man. Way back in the day. We've been together almost like going on 10 years now, which is too damn long. Kidding, man. Yeah, we got married, so locked in. Anyways, hey, what's up, Mr. Biff? Let's see. Do I think Ethereum is going to retest 1500? Let's go to Ethereum here first. Ethereum has been relatively stronger than Bitcoin as of recent. And I still have to say that it is relatively stronger than Bitcoin. But in the short term, oh no, you do not have hidden bearish evidence potential. So, bi-weekly time frame, it would make life a lot easier if it closed Sunday above 1900. At that point, I think you actually have a low forming here. Do I think it's going to retest 1500 is the real question. I think it's definitely possible. More so 1700 rather than 1500. Like if Bitcoin comes down to 6100, I'll be looking for Ethereum to 1700, and that's where I'd be looking for it to try for one of those like trappy bear trap quick reversal moves if that's going to happen. But for right now, even in the short term, you haven't gotten the breakdown conditions just yet. That would be requiring a daily closure below about 1845. If you do that, then sure, yeah, I could be looking for that move down to not necessarily 1500, but 1700, 1750-ish region, somewhere in that pocket. That's where I'd be looking for maybe one of these moves. Because I actually do think Ethereum, like Bitcoin, has a setup here still. So this would be kind of like similar to Bitcoin coming down to 61,000. Somewhere around there, and then rounding off that low. I think that you could see something like that on Ethereum here too. And, you know, admittedly, that would just be another test of this long-term trendline regression. So there is that as well. So I wouldn't be that surprised to see it, but I wouldn't validate that move until you're back down below, what was it, 18 something rather low. Let me go back down to the daily. That was 1845 or 1846. I need to be rich so I can buy a Lucid. Are they good? I actually haven't been in one. I just have seen some, and they look cool. For an electric car, they look cool. But goddamn, man, getting me to give up my truck never will happen. It'll never happen. You'll have to pry it from my cold dead hands, or I don't know if I'm a forced seller. Anyways, Costco stock weekly. We can look at that. See what the old Costco is doing here. The best club in the world. The best club in all of the lands. I actually really like it here for a higher low. LARP line's still more or less in alignment here. Came down a little bit lower than maybe what I was looking for, but I'm looking at this as a higher low. And I like it. I like it a lot. Now, do I think it's going to be a big gainer to the upside? Not really, actually. I mean, in terms of returns, it's not amazing, but obviously the long-term trend is incredible. It's just the actual returns, in my opinion, are not amazing here. But I love the company. I love I love the long-term chart. Still think it's doing something like this, man. Tony Quinn is looking at SCCO. Okay. Souther Copper. Okay. this thing. Short-term bullish, man. And copper has been the one metal that we've looked at over the past month that is not bearish, or at least one of them. And this one, again, having another drive of hidden bullish divergence on the weekly time frame. Will it break 151 is the question. And I would be betting on this thing going up, not down, man. The pivot on the downside is 161, not 151, at least in my opinion. So as long as you're above there, you are objectively bullish. And this is absolutely a reaccumulation formation in the format of an ascending triangle. And I would be bullishly biased here, man. I think that you're more likely to break out above $200 than you are to break down below that previous low. And if that happens, I'd be looking for a retest of those all-time highs and maybe new all-time highs to follow from there. This is good. It's pretty good. At least right now. Now, below that low, below that 161 low, you got a real reversal incoming. Not good, not bullish. But until then, I see a lot more bullish signals here than not. Many drives of hidden bullish evidence on character because RSI. Don't hate that, man. Don't hate that. Captain Jackson says, also just finished your TA 101. Hell fucking yes. And thanks, man. I appreciate that feedback as well. I'm always looking to make my stuff better if I can. So yeah, man. Let's see. Hey, Krown, what is your preference on boring long-term holds? I like all of the boring stuff. VTI, triple Qs. Those are my two major ones. I probably hold the most, like per dollar, in just those two names. VTI is just total stock market, basically. Triple Q is obviously the tech sector, which I'm just a tech believer. I'm a tech nerd. So yeah, those are my two major ones. I also, there are three major sectors that I hold a lot in major ETFs that are boring. There is just general stock market VTI. There is tech sector triple Qs. And then the third one, slightly less appealing than the other ones, but in my opinion, still strong, still important. And among my biggest holdings is defense ETFs. So for that, I like symbol XAR and symbol ITA. Those are the two ones that I really, really like, which you can see right here, XAR, up almost 1% on the day, but consolidate at the highs here. I don't think it's ready to try like a real upside breakout yet. I think this consolidation goes on for a long time, as does ITA. This one a little bit in a stronger position, to be fair, but I think these things still kind of bake in their current consolidations for a little bit longer. Anyways, cool. Have I ever had a lucid dream? Yeah, man. If you take zinc and magnesium together at night, I can guarantee you will have a higher probability of lucid dreaming. At least that's been my experience. Cool. Litecoin to $50 or $40 first, and then we'll go to SpaceX. I'm just genuinely curious to see what Litecoin is doing here. I haven't looked at Litecoin in a long time. Surprisingly, no one's asked about it. And do I think it's more likely to go to $40 or $50 first? I mean, if Bitcoin breaks down, obviously $40. If Bitcoin doesn't break down, $50. I would not be surprised to see it try move towards $50 next month. Short term, like very short term, do I think you're more likely to hit $40? Probably yes. Weekly, another lower swing high right there. I don't really want to get super bearish here, though, to be honest. But yeah, if Bitcoin comes down, I think that this thing's going to get hurt a lot more in relationship to Bitcoin. Anyways, what was the other one? SpaceX? Yeah, we could look at that. I haven't looked at that in a couple weeks now, too. Still bearish. Don't really have much to add here. Still not much of a chart going on as well, but if I had to pick a position here, it's going to be bearish. Hidden bearish divergence on this lower high at 118. I'm bearish as long as you're below there, man. I'm looking for this thing to make new lows, probably down to 102. Might take a little bit of time, but I don't know, perhaps like a next week thing. But yeah, hard chart to love. Love Elon, but hate the chart. Got to separate the person from the chart. Anyways, Biff the Bear says Tesla. We've kind of looked at Tesla a couple times already, but I guess maybe you weren't here during the time, we could look at it on your time frames, the 6 month and the yearly, or the 1 month, sorry. 1 month, you're coming down to the green 55 now, playing out this divergence over here. I think that you are in a bouncy area between 280 to 290, kind of gotten down there already on this month's low. If we go to the 6 month time frame, I do want to say that if you really start to lose this low, let's say like below 280 on a weekly closing basis, the 6 month time frame is indicative of a potentially much greater correction all the way down to about 230-ish region. You do have bearish divergence here on the 6 month RSI, and the 21 EMA is at about 230 right now. So I would not be surprised to see that move, man. So yeah, there's that. There is that as well. All right. Oh, let me just check this really quickly. Hold on. Sorry. I know it's fucking annoying, but it must be done. It must be done indeed. Yeah, you'll get, I do think you probably get your $100 entry. Let's see. Wait, what? Okay. All right. Oh, nice. Sweet. Cool. All right. Anyways, back on the topic here. Yeah, I think that you probably get your $100 entry. I don't know if I'd want to buy it there, but if you just want to buy it and you're like, it's come down enough, trade it up well north of $200 and now down to $100 and you're just looking to hold it for a long time, completely cool with the fact that it very well may go much lower. I think that's fine. I mean, you're at least buying at a discount, you're doing your weekly DCA. I don't hate it as like a long-term strategy, but be 100%, just to be 100% clear, there is nothing bullish about this thing at all whatsoever right now. Free fall mode until we start to see some higher lows at the very, very least. Can you go over the daily weekly chart of Sky Hynix? I can. If you gave a ticker, that would be like significantly more useful, but I guess you can just type it in. My opinion of the semiconductor sector is that it's topped. My opinion of this is that I don't want it. There's not really an opinion to be had on this thing, man. It's been around for what, a week? It's been around for a week, man. Or sorry, a couple weeks, few weeks, whatever. It's not long enough to have a real opinion on, man. If anything, I'm going to be bearish on it. Anyways, let's see. I need to tell Elsa to bring me some damn food. Hold on, I'll text her right now. Whoops, typing in all capitals. How's the Krown AI going so far? It's going pretty well, man. We sent out a lot of invites. In fact, I'll send out some more invites right now. Let's do that. I haven't sent out invites for most this week. If you're wondering what it is basically an AI that I'm training to do long-term analysis. But I'm going to send out some more invites like literally right now. Let's do that. Right now, there's more than 600 people on the wait list right now. I know that for sure. Okay. Just logging into my account really quickly, and then I can send out those invites. And let's go check out those prediction markets in the meantime. What's they doings? Nice. Need some money. Cool. Where's the damn message? Waiting for the derp. Need to email the sign-in code. Yeah. You see, like, those numbers change around so quickly and the payouts are so volatile, but it's significantly more lucrative than being long options. I mean, that is absolutely for sure. This is just total gamble right here. That is insane. Holy shit. Anyways, sorry. Need to put this in. We're going to send out a lot more invites right now. I'm going to send out like another 100 or so. All right, boom. And I got some food as well. Okay, nice. Ketos. No, thank you. We need some fuel here. All right. Yeah, there's a lot of people using it right now, which is cool to see. All right, let me go to early access. Let's send some invites. By the way, if you want to get on the wait list, it's Krown.ai. Probably going to release this one closer to my birthday in September. But so far, so good. All right, let's send out 10. We're going to send out even more. How about another 10? There we go. Let's send out another 10. It's 30 in total. Food right now, 40. We'll get to GILD in a moment. 50. 60. Actually, I'll put a link in the chat here for it if you want to join the wait list. I think we'll be able to get almost everyone on the wait list using it within the next couple weeks. Whoops. All right, try again. A couple more. Just a couple more here. What's up, Cowboys? What's up, Elf Machine? Good morning to you, man. All right. Okay, and one more. All right, last 10 going out right now. Let's see. There is still, oh God, there's still 2, 3. Holy shit, there's still, okay, that waitlist grew a lot. All right, there's still about 400. Jesus. All right. Back on track here. We got Cloud Debussy who's looking at GILD. Okay. And weekly, you're trying to play a breakout. You have a stop loss at 120. So at least you have a plan here. That's good. Stop loss at 120 makes sense to me. Playing a breakout makes sense. I mean, to play bullishly, yeah, it makes sense to me. It's just, I don't think it's really necessarily ready right now. But it is bullishly biased here, obviously. I just think personally, there might be another run back down towards that 125, 123 low. I think it's very possible. At any rate, do I think it's a setup? Yeah. Do I think it's 100% guaranteed to work out? Obviously not. Nothing is. Do I think it's going to try the upside move from here? I don't think so. No. I think it's going to continue sideways for a while if it's going to try it all. So yeah, if you're asking my thoughts, I think it's a valid setup. Yeah, it's a valid setup. Wouldn't be surprised to see August trade down to like 120 low, rally from there. Tony Quinn says, what looks more bullish, BMNR or SBET? Try this. Whoops. There we go. So the answer is that both of them are shitty, but which one is the least shitty one? BMNR. What is it? God, BMNR, it's terrible. Like, this thing must just be god awful. Yeah, it is truly god awful. If I had to choose one, it would be BMNR. And unless you got some inside information on this thing that another popcorn rally is coming, because who knows what the fuck happened. I would avoid this thing like the plague. I'd also probably avoid BMNR like the plague as well, but yeah, man. Not sure I like either of these ones, my man. How long is CC going to be free? I love using it. I'm really glad that you love using it. We're keeping it free as long as we can, man. So just again, full disclosure, I am an investor in Central Command. So the Central Command itself, right now we're able to keep it free for everyone because the costs to like run these servers and whatnot are basically covered by the sponsors of it, like Bluffin, and then in a very small part, the volume traded through it. Of course, there is a commission on that as well. It's not a ton. And right now with the usage that people are doing, we can cover it decently. So I don't really see any reason to make it not free anytime soon. We want it to be free as long as possible because like, that's just, I mean, it's the best fucking offer whenever you can say it's literally free. It's literally free. Like there's no fucking strings attached. There's no hidden bullshit, no nothing like that. You're not paying anything extra to use it. Excuse me. Sweet potatoes coming up. But yeah, like if those costs started to exceed, or sorry, if our operating costs started to exceed what we were actually making from it, then yeah, of course we'd have to make it be paid. And there has been some talk about that, like maybe for power users, like a small dollar amount per month, something like that. But for right now, we can cover it decently. All right, let's see. Hey, Krown, are options a waste of time if you have less than 10,000? Yeah. You're not going to be able to cover yourself in the way that you probably need to cover yourself just due to the margin requirements for most things. Assy says, you're making me hungry. Sorry. It's really good, though. You can get it from Costco. I don't think it's a waste of time to learn options because do you think you're never going to have more than $10,000 in your life? I mean, I'm sure aspirational goals are much higher than that. So yeah, I think the knowledge of learning it is always going to be worth it. Absolutely. because at some point you might be able to use it. But in terms of like literally, is that enough to trade and make like a good enough potential income to justify like putting that money at risk? I would say probably not. I'd want close to 100,000 to be honest. LOL, bro trading $50 like he thinks he's someone. Sir, oh my God. First off, most cringe fucking phrase of the universe. Bro, fucking bro. Like everyone using bro in every goddamn sentence that they say. I want to tear out my fucking eyeballs and plug my ears with cement. Second off, it's called having a little bit of fun on stream, buddy. Holy shit. You can refer to my options positions. We can also go fuck yourself. Anyways, Adrian Renee says, is Hood due for a bounce? I don't know. Let's check it out. Haven't looked at this one for a week. Yeah, I think so. I don't think this is the bounce that you're looking for, though. I think still this is a range play where it ultimately comes down here. But if it bounced back to like $100, I would not be surprised at all. And like I said, a lot of these things that have been beat up this month, I think they are kind of looking for bounces in early August. I just don't think that those bounces are going to be like major continuation moves. So if this thing bounced up to like $100, I think that that's kind of an obvious. So I think that it still comes down ultimately. But long term, I'm not necessarily bearish on it. This thing is objectively bullish as long as you are holding weeklies above $70. And if I had to call, I think that you will come down close there. I just think it'll hold it and, you know, trade sideways and rally from there. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Bro got clapped. God, yeah. I just, every time I see that, or, oh God, the worst is like, what I love, okay, my guilty pleasure at night is watching like police body cam videos. I don't know why. I'm addicted to it. Like watching cops, live PD, Sheriff Lamb, all of these things. I cannot get enough of it. I really don't know why. I must have some sort of disease. And like almost always when they pull over someone who's like below about 30 years old, the people can't even they can't even articulate a sentence without saying bro in it. Even if they're a girl. Like, oh, it's painful. It's so painful. It's so cringe. Like that is one of those things you're going to look back in 5 to 10 years and be like, oh, I was a cringe lord. Great. Fucking great. Anyways, yeah, is Hood due for a bounce? I think in the short term, yes, but I don't think that bounce is going to be the bounce you're looking for, so to speak. Cloud Debussy's back. He's looking at FRO. Jordan Weaver, I'm very, very sensitive, ma'am. I can't be taking criticisms like that. It hurts my egos. Anyways, FRO. Overall, really good. This one might be ready from here, actually. You do have a series of higher lows and same highs, so it is an ascending triangle, and there is a bullish bias on this breakout, and you do have hidden bullish divergence here on the weekly RSI and the monthly. It's closing at a pretty nice, or is trading at a very nice level coming into the end of this month. If I had to call, I do think you got continuation, you know, throughout the next few months, probably up to like, I don't know, $48, $50. It's all good, man. I know. I'm just joking, Jordan. I'm just joking, man. It's always fun to talk shit on the internet. Anyways, bro is a new one. I know. It does drive me fucking wild, though, man. It really does. I don't know why. I really don't know why, but like, it's just. Anyways, speaking of body cam, do you like AXON? Is there a body cam stock? I mean, it's good, I guess. I don't know if I like it in the short term. I think that this one's probably coming down to those $400 lows, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to break lower. I think that gets reaccumulated, and you know, you march on sideways and upwards long term. Bro, can I get a bro WTI? Still long, bro. 71, bro. Yes, bro. Bro, no problem, bro. Check it out. Not bad there. All right, I think I'm out of my sweet potato. Damn it. Oh, they're so good. They're so good, but I think it is possible they give you the farts. Anyways, WTI, I'm just not a fan of looking at oil and gas. Again, probably the most geopolitically driven thing of all time. unless you got insider information. I don't like playing these things, but if I had to call it, I think this is probably a low. But again, I don't think I have an edge here, and I don't think I have a good opinion on these things. I made one good call on oil and gas, and I don't want to make any more. After that, I think that it was mostly luck that was correct. There were obviously there was a lot of technical signals, but I just don't trust them to play out that well. We'll go to Apple for Cousin Burley. Yeah, still think that this one has some short-term downside here, but I would be looking for it to try for a low somewhere around like 295. Really want to see that area hold though, because if it does fail, I think that there's some bigger issues. Quarterly starts to look a lot more like a top being formed if it trades below about 270-ish region to me, and starts to close like a weekly or a monthly below there as well. But for right now, still kind of looking at it as still higher lows, still bullish, but goddamn, Cousin Burley, if it does come below, like I said, what was it, 275? Let me get exact right here. Yeah, about 275 and close a weekly or a monthly there. I think that that's very, very, very problematic for the long term, and you're probably entering into a significantly greater corrective period, which you're going to see, like lowish 200s if that happens. But until then, the trend is your friend, and it's absolutely to the upside, so can't hate that. Let's see. Is he going to 0 or double 0? I don't know. Good question, though. Bro will now be the most popular word in Krown's chat. Oh, God. Sir, bro, Crownius. At least you said my pronouns correctly, sir. I mean, bro. Have you seen the show Silo? No, I haven't. What's it about? I'm looking for a new show to watch, a new show to binge. I watched you know what I watched the other day that was great? There's two things that I've watched recently that are absolutely great, but the best one was the new He-Man movie. It's on Amazon, I think, and that was good fun. that was a great movie. I loved it. And what was the other one? Oh yeah, and then I saw Dungeons and Dragons movie, which it's like a low budget bullshit movie, but I don't know, man. To me, it was fun. It was a fun movie to watch. But yeah, the He-Man one was great. Really, really good. Cool. All right. Hoy Hoy says pre-IPO, you wanted to fill your bags with SpaceX after a post-IPO dump. Congrats. What price are you waiting for? It's not a price that I'm waiting for. It's a structure that I'm waiting for. So when I look at SpaceX right here, it's not investable to me at these prices, because what I need to see is a higher low on a daily at minimum on something like this before I even consider, oh, we might have a reversal here. Thus, this is an area that I may be interested in buying. It's a similar thing with Circle as well. I waited very patiently for that dump, and I still got run over. Even though it did have a higher low in place, it did not complete the reversal with a higher high. So, for me, I like to play these things very, very conservatively, because they can come down. I mean, they can come down so much that I think it just really pays a lot more to be patient rather than buying on the way down on something that does not have a previous structure. Again, that's where my edge is, so I try not to veer too much away from that, and that's why I'm like quite risk averse on newer things. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but just due to what we're seeing right here, this could easily trade down to like fucking $60. So I'm not just going to buy right here blindly. I need to see something forming that is objective, that I could then justify allocating a small amount realistically towards. So yeah, Jordan Weaver says TIA. Oh God, we got real crypto shitcoins going on right now. Real crypto shitcoins. How is this one done? Well, I'm sure it's going to be great. There's actually hexkins now around, and I think I invoked like the hexkin fucking party recently. I heard if you say Richard Hart 3 times in a mirror, then the hexkin crew will surround you chanting Richard Hart, Richard Hart, Richard Hart. Please give me your Richard farts and make my hex coins go to the moon while Krown dies in the boon. It's terrible. TIA. Good to go. Craig Templar says, do you then sort of, I'm guessing this is in reference to SpaceX, do you then sort of ignore the early timeframes price action? Yeah, exactly. The problem when it's so new is that you just don't have really much to be going off of. And if a daily move wants to happen, it doesn't really matter what the fucking 5-minute time frame or the hourly time frame is doing. Yarbrook says, PAL monthly. Okay, speaking of minerals, check this one out. Is this a good mineral or a bad mineral? Adjust drawings, perhaps. Yeah, I don't like it here. Ultimately, I think this is a range play. Again, your range highs were found earlier this year, and let me just remove everything so that we only talk about the relevant shit. Your range highs right there. Your middle of the range is right around here. You've already got there. You already failed your bounce there. Maybe there's another bounce attempt. It's possible, yes, but I don't think it's going to be the one that fucking makes you break out above $39. I think ultimately you get a little bit closer to these lows and try for a higher low, maybe around like, I don't know, $20 or so. So perhaps another like 10 to 20-ish% move to the downside. That's where I'd be kind of leaning on for the next potential higher low. Until then, yeah, pretty obvious rejection right there. I think that whatever bounce you're going to get from this $21 low is very likely going to fail. And this is going to be like a very, very long-term thing. I mean, shit, it could easily do something like this for a while, man. That takes you out into like 2030 of it basically being a fucking dead investment. Even though long-term, it probably is good long-term. It's just, for the next few years, I would not be that optimistic on it. Yeah, anyways, influencer boxing only in a bull market. I mean, shit, man. Yeah. I don't think there's anyone even interested in that anymore. Not that there was a ton of people to begin with, but yeah. It was fun, man. I really was hoping they're going to do an event here in the US. And, they were telling me Miami, it's going to happen. Vegas, it's going to happen. Be ready. I was ready the whole time. But, as I get older, the more that time goes on, the more and more that like I can't even fucking keep my cardio in shape for like a real fight. I wouldn't want to enter the ring if like my cardio is not going to be proper. I'd say maybe I still have like another year or two if they can get their shit together and do a fight. But I just really hope it's in the US, man. That'd be awesome. I would love to fight in the US. That'd be great. Tony Quinn says, could you compare YouTube metrics in a bull and bear market? Honestly, my metrics just been on a straight downtrend for like the last 4 years, man. So I could show you them. I don't think that there's much signal in them, honestly, because it's just going straight down. It's just going straight down. And that's been going on since 2024. So yeah, man. I don't know. My channel's chopped out. I suck. It'll never be the same. Yada, yada. The metrics themselves, though, doesn't really seem like it matters right now. They just continue to trend down. Very, very bad. Krown is a vegan. I know. These actually are vegan. These actually are vegan. I am a homosexual as well. And that's not a bad thing, honestly. It's the year 2026. We all know this. Anyways, there are 2 to 7 grams of palladium in a catalytic converter. Interesting. Vegas boxing could be fun. Yeah, it would be super cool, man. Get to fight in front of my friends, my family, like in my home, basically. That'd be awesome, man. Krown is a phony. I hate this guy. Yeah, I fucking hate him too. Paquito Loco says IBB. Okay. Let's check it out. IBB 186. I'm still patiently waiting here. Patiently waiting. Will I get my 180 fill? Maybe. We can only find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I'm still quite confident it's going to come down a little bit more here, and my patience will be rewarded. Tentatively between 175 to like 182. Currently trading at 186. I've been waiting for this all fucking month. Let's see. Hopefully a next month thing. Just need a couple 100Xs to get back to break even. Indeed. Yeah, man. Yeah. There is a $100 to $300 worth of salvageable gold, silver, and aluminum in flock cameras. Just saying. Yeah, it's interesting, man. I've heard a lot of theories on flock cameras, which honestly, who knows what the fuck is true with those. The problem is if I can't validate something for myself and no one else really can as well, like, the general plebs who are just talking about flock cameras good, flock cameras bad. It seems like most people just say bad. Generally, there's like a subset of people that I look to be a counter signal. It's like whatever they are in favor of, I should be against, and whatever they're against, I should be in favor of. If I cannot actually personally validate it, and they can't either. Good heuristic. Dear Sir Krown brother, do you think, dear Sir Krown bro, do you think a put option on delivery is a good trade? Would the 470 strike make sense? I don't know. We can check, I guess. Oh God, it's this damn stock again. This thing. Would I buy a put option here? No, I'm not bearish. And also I hate buying premium to begin with, man. More importantly, I hate buying premium. And second off, I am not bearish on this thing. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. All right, cool. Let's see. I know the bottom is close because I don't care about crypto right now and haven't cared for a while. Yeah, I think that there's many such cases with that too. Shit. I mean, crypto seems, I mean, this is probably like a common statement, but it seems more dead than the previous cycles, despite it being higher in terms of price. Yeah. But, you know, weekly closing out here or lower, I do have to be looking for Bitcoin to come down early August at least. Rules are rules. It is what it is. If someone says the word brother to you, is it as bad as bro or better? It's brother is infinitely preferable to bro. And just the fact that like, okay, I need to pick up. Okay, let me just show you this video because like, should I show you this video? It might get my video taken off. Oh God. Let's see if I can find this. Oh my God, I found it. I fucking found it. This is crazy. Okay, first off, let's see if there's any copyrights on this. Maybe, apparently not. Like, I just don't understand how people like these get around. All right.
Step back.
Doesn't matter.
Get mad. You're on a power trip.
Calm down.
You're on a power trip. She
Calm down.
tell her to stop touching me.
Then we will put you in handcuffs. When you calm down,
Is she
we'll talk.
trying to fucking put me in handcuffs? Am I not the one
You
who's
need
been
to calm
talking to
down.
you the calmest the whole
Hold
time?
on.
Step back. Calm down.
I'm not telling you again.
Don't touch me. Yeah, because he tried to say that and trying to be cool with you guys.
Here she is.
Not again.
Fucking away, kind of, to make face fucking gestures to my friend who works here, and your face fucking coworkers talking about some, oh, here we go, and she want to keep fucking touching me, and you want to fucking keep fucking supporting it. Stupid 5 foot fucking stupid fucking white lady.
You okay, Jayla?
No, it's this stupid fucking country. Holy shit.
Go
Can I please have my phone?
to Nicaragua or wherever else,
She's
Salvador
lovely.
or wherever your
She's
flag
lovely.
was from. Go.
Does she have a nose ring?
Nobody's stopping you. That's the beauty of America.
the evidence
you
is
can come and
inconclusive.
go as you please, and if you don't like it, you're welcome to pack your bags and move on out.
Back.
It's right here. I'm not taking it from you.
Like, my friend literally works here. Like, this is so embarrassing.
Yes. Well, if you listen to me, I'll explain to you why you're
sure.
in
And I was listening to you, but then your
That is the
stupid
right
fucking
Hematica
coworker
girl.
is talking about
You
how
have a
she
really
gonna
good eye.
detain me,
It actually
and you're just
is.
okay with
And I'm
that
not
when
joking.
I didn't even
I'm really
do
not
anything.
joking.
I am sick of white people pushing me over.
Isn't she white?
I'm not even saying you. I don't give a fuck about you. Like, cool, you didn't take my land. You didn't rip and pillage my people.
You
I don't
didn't
give
take
a
my
fuck.
land.
But why is
Oh,
she
God.
fucking putting her hands on me for no reason?
Conquered, not taken. And for most of these people,
I'm calm. Can you please just
especially
explain it
for
to
the,
me?
No, because
not
the
that
more
she's
we
probably
talk, the
from
more
there,
you
but
talk.
Okay, so I'm
when
calm
like
now. Can you explain
when they talk about like
Okay,
taking
so can I
the
just
west
not
of the
talk
U.S.
for 30 seconds and then
The
you
West
explain
was
it or
fucking
what?
purchased
Driving a
from
vehicle
the
there, okay?
Spanish.
She went across the street.
The
right
west
in
of
front my
America was
car.
purchased from
Following
the
the
Spanish.
other
In case you didn't
car,
know,
right?
and
Well,
also
you
the
can't
Louisiana
engage in
purchase
a car
was
pursuit,
purchased from the
okay?
French.
Can you listen to me? Okay. Have you been drinking?
No,
Has she
I'm
been
so... Yes, she has.
Okay, so when you calm down,
All you
okay?
people
Anyways,
do
that's
is
enough.
f me
That's
off.
enough of that. um, try not to judge people too much in their worst moments, because, like, God, I know I can. I know I'll probably be there one day, but yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. There's a lot of people like that out there, but you know, I think when I was younger and I heard people like her complain about that stuff, and I didn't have the context of like these on police cameras, I would have thought, oh yeah, she's right. Like these people, you know, police are fucking assholes, right? But now it's like you see the context of it, and at least my sort of takeaways for a lot of these people, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if I buy your version of reality, lady. Yeah, exactly. 9697. Sure. 9697. Yep. Capcom. I'll probably shut this. Actually, I need to shut the stream off about now. Really nice rally here. Really nice rally here. I've been looking for some sideways and up. It looks like it's just going to be up. That ain't bad, I guess. Excuse me. Quarterly has hidden bullish divergence baking in there too now. So I think before I was looking for a higher low first and then a rally up. And, you know, it does definitely bother me that there's not a higher low here just yet. So it is still possible that it comes back down and sets in that higher low. But I like the long term. The long term remains the same. I really like this one long term. Anyways, yeah. We shall end on that note. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone joining in as always. It's been a beautiful pleasure speaking with you on this nice little Friday morning. Again, Bitcoin trying to inch its way towards those major pivots that we've outlined here, but still, it feels so far away. Anyways, still need at least a minimum rally of 63,750 by end of day to keep open even the shortest amount of hopium for July, marking the macro low. Until then, we'll have some updates coming into August, obviously, for where the new pivots are, and you know, maybe August is going to be the month after that. But for right now, you know, obviously being a little bit off that doesn't look as great. Anyways, we shall end on that note. Take